Columbia student Mohsen Mahdawi is free on bail after judge orders his release from federal custody. Columbia University student Mohsen Mahdawi is free on bail after a judge ordered his release from federal immigration custody Wednesday, weeks after armed DHS agents detained him in Vermont during his naturalization interview. Mahdawi, a 34-year-old U.S. permanent resident who was born and raised in a refugee camp in the West Bank, was detained April 14th and had been held at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility, the Northwest State Correctional Facility in St. Albans, Vermont. I am saying it clear and loud to President Trump and his cabinet, I am not afraid of you, Mahdawi said Wednesday outside the Vermont courthouse after his release. What we are witnessing now and what we're understanding is exactly what Dr. Martin Luther King has said before. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, he added. From the bench, U.S. District Judge Jeffrey W. Crawford ordered the release of Mahdawi from prison on bail, pending the resolution of his habeas petition. The government requested that Crawford pause Mahdawi's release from prison for 7 days by issuing a stay of the order, but the judge denied it. Following Wednesday's hearing, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin issued a statement stating that the judge would not prevent the Trump administration from restoring the rule of law to our immigration system. It is a privilege to be granted a visa or green card to live and study in the United States of America, she said. When you advocate for violence, glorify and support terrorists that relish the killing of Americans, and harass Jews, that privilege should be revoked, and you should not be in this country. The Justice Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Secretary of State Marco Rubio justified Mahdawi's detention, saying his presence and activities in the United States would have serious adverse foreign policy consequences and would compromise a compelling U.S. foreign policy interest, according to the DHS notice for Mahdawi to appear. Mahdawi, who has a green card, was a key organizer of pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia last year. Before Wednesday morning's hearing in Vermont, the government and Mahdawi's attorneys filed multiple court documents over his release, many of which were filed under seal but reviewed by NBC News. In the government's opposition to releasing Mahdawi, it said that law enforcement records indicated that Mahdawi has admitted to being involved in and supporting anti-Semitic acts of violence and an interest in and facility with firearms for that purpose, according to court documents reviewed by NBC News. The government included 2 exhibits with their filing, which have been filed under seal. One of the exhibits, which NBC News has reviewed, is a 2015 report from the Windsor Police Department in Vermont, where a gun shop owner told officers that Mahdawi supposedly told the owner that he used to build machine guns to kill Jews while he was in Palestine. In his declaration, Mahdawi said that he recalled visiting a gun shop in Windsor, Vermont, but that he is absolutely certain that I never expressed the words the report falsely attributes to me in that exchange or ever. I am a peaceful person and would never express wanting to harm or kill anyone, he wrote. I am heartbroken to have such appalling words, which stand in complete contrast to my philosophy on life and spiritual beliefs, misattributed to me. Addressing reporters outside the courthouse, Mahdawi's attorneys claimed victory against what they described as the government's retaliation against Mahdawi's right to free speech. Their claims and actions are baseless, without evidence, and are a disgrace to the U.S. Constitution, said Luna Druby, a partner at Beldock, Levine & Hoffman LLP. We will keep fighting until Mohsen is free for good. Mahdawi grew up in Al-Farah, a Palestinian refugee camp in the West Bank, where much of his family remains, according to a court filing. When he was 15 years old, he was shot in the leg by an Israeli soldier, the document states. He came to the U.S. more than a decade ago before enrolling at Columbia in 2021, according to the filing. The Trump administration has used similar justification to apprehend other foreign students, most of whom are from countries in the Middle East, who were active in the pro-Palestinian protests at college campuses last year, or who have been critical of Israel. On March 8th, immigration authorities detained Columbia graduate student Mahmoud Khalil, who helped lead student protests against the war in Gaza at the school last year, at his New York apartment. A judge ruled on April 11th that the Trump administration can deport Khalil, but Khalil has been permitted to fight the ruling while in detention in the U.S. DHS agents similarly apprehended Tufts University student Rumeysa Öztürk, WUA.